Have you ever stopped to wonder how a great building really begins? I'm not talking about bricks and steel. I'm talking about the idea. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at how architects take a super long, complicated list of requirements and somehow turn it into a single, powerful concept that shapes the entire design. Okay, so where does it all start? Well, first things first, we've got to bust a huge myth about where good design actually begins. I mean, it's what we all picture, right? The architect, sleeves rolled up, sketching out a floor plan. The kitchen goes here, the living room over there. It just feels like the most logical place to start. But in reality, that's jumping the gun by a lot. Great design doesn't start with walls and doors. Nope, it starts somewhere much more fundamental, much more abstract, actually. What an architect actually starts with looks a lot more like this. It's called a program. And it's basically this huge, complicated laundry list of everything the building needs. We're talking dozens of rooms, specific square footages, all the technical stuff, site limitations. It's like being handed a 1,000-piece puzzle, but oh yeah, there's no picture on the box. So that leads us right to the big question for today. How on earth do you take that jumble of requirements and transform it into a single, clear architectural idea? How do you figure out what the picture on the puzzle box is supposed to be? The answer, and this is the first big move in the whole creative chess game, is all about simplification. Radical simplification. Think about it. If you try to place every single office, every closet, every meeting room right at the beginning, you're going to get stuck fast. It's overwhelming. There are too many pieces, too many ways they could connect. It's just total decision paralysis. And this right here, this is the key mindset shift. The first job isn't to design the rooms, it's to design the relationships between them. It's all about figuring out, okay, what needs to be next to what needs to be far apart, and how do they all connect? So how do they actually do that? Well, instead of trying to juggle, 50 different rooms, they group them. They create clusters. So all the public spaces, that's one big group. All the behind-the-scenes operational stuff, that's another. And just like that, your 1,000-piece puzzle, well, now it's a 4-piece puzzle. Much easier, right? And this is just a brilliant move because it completely changes the question. You're not asking that impossible question anymore, where does every single little room go? Instead, you're asking something much, much easier to solve. How do these 4 big chunks relate to each other? And the answer to that question, well, that's what leads architects to the building's core concept. There's actually a word for this, for the building's big idea. It's called a parti. Yep, P-A-R-T-I. Now, a parti is not a floor plan. Think of it more like a super simple diagram of the building's main logic. It's like its DNA, the one core idea that organizes everything. And what's wild is how simple these ideas can be. For example, the parti could just be a straight line, a bar building. Everything is organized along this one single path, kind of like you'd see in a modern art gallery. Or it could be an L shape. That's a classic one. It's perfect for holding a street corner or for creating a nice, sheltered courtyard in a backyard. Maybe it's a T shape. This is great for when you need to separate 2 different functions but still connect them through some kind of central hub. And then there's the timeless favorite, the courtyard scheme, where the building wraps all the way around an open space. You see this in old universities or monasteries. It creates this calm little world inside. And whatever it is, that simple diagram, that becomes the anchor for the entire design. But here's the thing. Nailing down a clear partition isn't just a clever check to organize rooms. It actually frees up the architects to think about the real questions, the deeper stuff. Suddenly, bigger questions pop up, like, how do people even approach this building? What's that experience going to be like walking from the street to the front door? And what about its place in the neighborhood? Is it supposed to be a big, bold landmark that screams, look at me, or is it more of a quiet neighbor that just fits right in? And maybe the most important question of all, what is it going to feel like for the people who use it every single day? How will the light, the way you move through it, how will all that shape their experience? Because this is what it all comes down to. Architecture is never, ever just about fitting boxes together. It's about crafting human experiences. It's about shaping how we feel, how we move, and how we connect with the world around us. So how do architects even find these big ideas? You'd think in this day and age, with all our crazy software, it'd be some high-tech process. But the answer? It's often surprisingly old school. They sketch, that's it. Simple, pen on paper. And we're not talking about making a beautiful drawing for a presentation. This kind of sketching is a way of thinking. It's fast, it's messy, it's fluid. It lets ideas just come out without any pressure to make it perfect. And this quote just nails it. The ideas aren't already sitting there in your brain waiting to be drawn. No, the ideas are often discovered through the act of sketching itself. Your hand, your eye, your brain, they're all working together, kind of discovering the solution as you go. So all of this really points to one final crucial idea about how design works. A great building isn't designed in one fell swoop. It's built up, layer by layer. So you start with that big idea, the parti. Once you have that, the overall organization starts to make sense. Then you figure out circulation, how people will move around. And only after all of that is sorted do you get down to the nitty-gritty of laying out the individual rooms. I mean, trying to detail the rooms first, it's like trying to pick out throw pillows for a house that doesn't even have a foundation. It's completely backward. But when you start with that strong, clear concept, so many of the little details just start to fall into place. They almost solve themselves. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. The secret to going from chaos to clarity isn't about wrestling with all the tiny details from the start. It's about finding that one big, powerful idea that holds everything else together. And that leaves me with a challenge for you. The next time you walk into a building, any building, your office, the library, wherever, just pause for a second. Try to look past all the surface level stuff. Can you see the big idea? Can you find that simple core logic that's holding the whole thing together?